Where is my freaking willow?
I can't find it. I knew it was shrinking.
I'm like naive because I can't even remember the name of the town that the Blues went to, and I know it.
That is funny. You have a pointy head. How did that happen?
I just needed a haircut, and I bought that hair trimmer thing, and I was like, why not give this a go?
Ugh. That does not sound like a favorable review.
I don't.
It's totally harmless.
Did you just snap at me?
No, we have fruit flies.
He thinks he's
This
Mr.
is what it's
Miyagi.
come. Do you need some chopsticks?
Welcome back to the Jack of the Shadows podcast, episode 42. I am your host, Eric VC, and as always, I'm joined by my favorite Ping and Pong, the VC boys. Say hello, Dave.
Hello, Ping.
Say hello, Adam.
Hey, Pong!
This week, we read chapters 31 through 36 of The Fires of Heaven, and it finally happened. Elaine finally cooked dinner for her coterie.
And Nynaeve
Way to
waxed
go, Elaine.
poetic about how good of a cook she is, or isn't.
We'll explore that amazing event and more through our view from Dragon Mount, What Shook Your Willow, Avienda a Kill, In Dreams, our Coplin of the Week, and Who Leveled Up. So y'all want this party started, right? Let's get into our story with View from Dragon Mount.
That's a nice little bit of just small ingredients.
It's a nice.
Yes, exactly.
Few ingredients, but it will be seasoned
I make
to
it a
perfection.
spice. It's just a nice for you.
So chapter 31.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ping.
Just
You're welcome, Pong.
Although,
You were Ping,
Yeah.
I was Pong.
Li Jinping. So
well, you said hello, Ping.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
hello.
I was
Hi,
saying
Ping.
hello to you.
Right, he's saying hello to you. He's
I
Pong.
messed up.
I don't often say hello to myself. I mean, sometimes I do. When I look in the
Hello,
mirror, I'm like,
Ping.
well, hello.
How are
I
you?
saw you there from
Salad
across
fingers.
the room.
Marjorie Buttersworth.
I mean, I wanna be on you.
Marjorie Buttersworth.
What's her name?
Who is that?
What was the
Who
name?
is that?
That's
the
Mrs.
cousin from
Buttersworth's
New
cousin,
Jersey.
but I think Mrs.
No, it's a
Butterworth
cousin-
has been
cousin from,
outlawed
like,
now or something.
That
New
was,
Hampshire.
That was Salad Finger's friend. It was Miss
Margarine Black. It's Marjorie Black. Oh, no,
Blackberry?
Wood or something like that. It's
I have no
Yeah,
idea what
now
you're
you got
talking
it. You don't.
about.
Chapter 31. They've arrived in Einrod.
Ironrod or Landrod.
Or-
Evenrude.
Even rude, yes.
The town has been destroyed by the Shaido, but no one was there to fight. It seems the town has found itself in the middle of the battle between the Sun Throne and had been captured by several different parties.
Where
during
was
that time.
everybody?
The one Rand did not travel ahead to prevent disaster with.
Right.
Yes, that one.
So
Where
there's-
was everyone?
Well, there's a civil war going on, and
Yeah.
so they're constantly being taken over by different factions trying to claim the Sun Throne. So eventually,
Throne.
everybody just threw up their hands and went, "We out of here.
They probably packed up and fled.
We're sick and tired of being claimed by these different rival parties
I wonder what item they took. What is the one item
The
that they had to
kitchen
take
sink.
out of their
that they,
place?
that they took with
This
themselves."
time they
aside.
decided to
Some
take
guy-
the kitchen sink.
Some guy's taking his kitchen sink.
He's like, that's it. We've got everything and the kitchen sink.
which is made of wood. Rand's attraction to Avienda seems to have increased to the point that to sleep around her has become unbearable to him.
I mean, from the description of her, I cannot. I don't. Yeah, that's exactly the reaction I would have.
That was a complete
humana,
sentence
humana.
in some other language.
That's what Rand said. That's how it happens. He gets all tongue twisted.
And then he walks in on
I
her
love the
naked.
fact that he's like, I swear I can hear her heartbeat without even using the void,
The power.
The baby
the void
monitor?
or the power,
the baby monitor.
What
or
is
the
he?
baby, or the baby monitor.
Man, that would be a very strong baby monitor if you could hear the heartbeat. Feel the heartbeat.
Can you hear the
Of the
heartbeat?
city.
Rand walks in on a naked Avienda using soap and water to wash because she couldn't find
he
any
named
place
his-
to use a sweat tent.
Do you get
I
the
like
feeling?
I liked what he named his little room, the roof of the Wine Spring Brothers.
Oh yes, yeah.
Ah,
mhm.
yes.
And you can only come in if you've drunk from the wine spring.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Like it.
Here's what I don't get. Avienda was outside running about bare naked when she was doing her thing with Egwene.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden she trips, the Rand comes in. You would think still she would be just kind of like every other time she's been with him, just shut your gob and get out of here, Rand. But no, she completely melts down.
Yeah, she
Has
panics.
it just gotten to be finally to the point where it's just all too much?
Yep. And she creates a gateway to some snow-swept location and leaves.
And how did she know how to do that?
She vamooses. She tells us
Yeah,
later
good question.
she doesn't know. She doesn't quite know what she did. She was in such a tizzy. She just did something, and there she was.
And crazy that
She's-
Rand has been trying to learn how to do this from a guy who knows how, and she, in a moment of naked panic, freaks out and creates a gateway to, we find out, Sean Chan. But, I mean,
There's
what?
no more powerful panic than naked panic.
Apparently not.
Naked panic.
Rand
It's
uses-
a hard-boiled. He owns a farm. He grows pumpkins. His name is Naked Panic.
That doesn't sound hard boiled
I
at
don't-
all.
I don't
It
know what
doesn't.
that is.
That doesn't happen in a city. The hard
And then the
city.
scarecrow started
Right, okay,
getting to him
no,
one
right,
night.
Something weird is going on right now.
Was
So-
it his father, Scarecrow?
No, it was Rand using
No,
power.
his father had shot his Scarecrow already.
Rand uses
20-odd years back.
Rand uses the power in a way he doesn't know and blocks the gateway from closing so that he can chase Avienda and the Scarecrow into the snow-swept hills.
Basically, he put like a pair of vice grips on both sides and was like, clamp.
I think, to Dave's point, I kind of like the fact that I understand her panicking to this point. She's been clearly just going a little bit nuts.
Going through
She's been
the
getting less comfortable being
motions.
around him.
Yeah. So I like it. I like that it's
Full on
built up to
naked
this.
panic.
So he's chasing
Nude panic.
He's chasing after Avienda through the winter storm, and he's kind of keeping his eye on her, and then all of a sudden she's not there.
But meanwhile,
He's keeping his eye on her,
once
but he's
again
melting
using new
crap.
power. Yeah, he's using new powers. He's casting lines of fire through the snow and
Melting snow,
just-
melting. Then he gets to the
melts the
riverbank and he
sand.
melts sand. So then he
and
rescues
then there would
her.
have been these snowflake things.
There were snowflake things.
I
falling,
know.
right?
It's
Yeah.
the fact they don't know what he's. They
He's
don't
like,
know what
I
they're called.
recognize this.
Well,
It's
nobody-
on my.
Nobody's
It's on
looking
my
up at them
necklace.
really close.
But that's exact. There's no microscope. But then again, someone knows what it's called. But they get snow all the time in the two rivers, and no one knows what it's called.
And then they go into some weird state where he thinks of women in his life. She pulls him toward her, and they make sweet,
Wait.
sweet cookies.
First, he drags her out of this.
Right, he rescues her.
by her hair, her
Yes.
It's
frozen
the
hair.
It's the Val Kilmer moment in The Saint.
Right? Yes. Good-
Rather,
good
I'm
call.
sorry, the Elizabeth Shue moment.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
You
Ah.
remember Val Kilmer
more
the
into-
most from
Yeah.
that
I'm more
moment.
into Val. Yes.
Pseudo chubby
Back
Val.
when he wasn't chubby in that one yet.
He was
No, he
starting
was-
to get chubby in that one.
Oh, that guy.
I don't
Boy.
know.
That Val. After they wake, Rand is a little bit awkward, and Avienda is not.
Right now, she's completely comfortable being naked.
So Rand proposes marriage. Avienda insists that this is the only time that they will make cookies.
Once
This
and only time.
baking is never going to happen
She
again.
does not intend to ask Rand to marry her because she is the one who will be doing the asking.
Because you are sworn to my near sister.
She reveals
That's a long conversation. they
she
have
did
there.
not know how to make that gateway.
Yeah.
On to chapter 32, a short spear, somewhere in Sean Chan.
A formerly long spear.
Rand exits the power-wrought hut and sees a flying dinosaur creature
Not to be
with two
confused with
people on
long
its back.
shanks.
They sneak through the snow to the gateway.
Have we seen that before?
No, I don't think we have.
No, I don't know that we've seen one.
Yeah, to the fact that he can see two riders on it just scanning
Right.
the areas.
That
know
is a big dinosaur.
Those riders were not in the storm, by the way.
No. So they
Do you
sneak.
think those riders have power?
I don't
Or
think
are they
so.
just
I
some
couldn't
dudes
begin to
riding it?
say.
I don't think they were dudes either. I don't know. I don't know if he got close enough to see the gender of the people.
I don't think he did.
So they sneak through the snow to the gateway, and some Sean Chan, Damane, and Suldam are at the gateway. They have two sigils.
Wait a second.
And
I
guards.
want to just point out, I love how strong Rand is. It's freaking awesome. He's like, oh no, Avienda, we can move faster if I'm holding you in my arms.
Right.
Yeah,
he-
Rand's a big boy.
I mean, she doesn't seem like she's short. Now, she also...
Nor-
she's Aiel.
she seems...
Yeah, she's not short.
She's thin, but muscle weighs more than fat. So, I mean, she can't be light. And he's plodding through the snow with her, just kind of like...
It's
Now,
fantastic.
Did he have the power
Yeah.
in him at that point or not?
I think he did because I don't think they knew what they were going to come.
Do you think he runs faster with the power? Like he's the Flash?
Right. Yes, he is the Flash. It's funny you should mention.
I am Batman.
There are two sigils on these Sean Chan. There's one with a raven in front of a tower, and then there's another one with a silver stag, which we determine is the noble woman. And
Well,
that
we've
is
heard about the
Lady
court of-
Morsa.
We've heard about the Court of the Nine Moons and the Raven Seeker. The Seeker. That Seeker had a raven tattoo on him.
Right.
And a raven.
The Tower of Ravens is
Tower
where
Ravens,
they
yeah.
is essentially their dungeon. Their worst dungeon.
Torture. It sounds like a torture chamber to me.
Rand notices something with Saladin that had been done to Avienda's gateway. So there's some weird thing with the gateway that now he doesn't
Gray
quite trust.
masking.
The grayness.
Yeah.
We learned through the conversation that he has with the Shan Chan, it seems like the Corrine has been temporarily postponed.
But not canceled.
No, it just is in a holding pattern. Jalindin mentions that there seems to be sedition in the royal district of Shanchan.
There's that whole little tete-a-tete, or how we pronounce that.
Tete-a-tete, ton
that
away.
too, between the
Galadin
woman and the
Between
It's Galadin and Morsa.
yeah, how she's all of a sudden going to be sent off to the. She's like, okay, you're under arrest
right
because she was at Foma and
seeker.
apparently didn't say anything about what she saw,
or didn't say
Or-
enough. Yeah.
Well, or she knew too much, and they were afraid she was going to say
Well,
something.
that's what the sense that we get is that she knows too much.
And they don't want the Shan Chan in public in general. You know, we talked about the Shan Chan before, and you talked about how, okay, but their rules are great, you know, because they allow people their individual freedoms and whatever. But I think that's all a facade.
Well, I don't think there's a lot
Once
of
they
freedom
take,
in Shan
well,
Chan.
no, because when they came over here, once people took the vows,
Oh, right, yes.
they were allowed this personal liberty.
The common people, yes.
Well, I don't think the common people also are being told all the truth. So their little created society of utopia, if it were, isn't quite so utopia because, oh, by the way, there's a whole lot we're not telling you too.
Shan Chan,
And if you know, we'll kill you.
Shan Chan seems to be to me to be more dangerous for people with ambition. If you don't have any ambition
Or
I think,
knowledge.
I think Shan Chan is a really easy place to live. If you
I don't
have
even think
any-
that woman wanted to be anywhere. She just knew stuff, and they're like, oh, SpaghettiOs.
Right. The people that came over with the Corrine were,
The
for the
Forerunners.
most
They were
part,
the Forerunners.
well, they seem to be fairly important individuals.
Okay, wait. We need to separate terminology. The Corinne has not happened yet. What happened
Right.
was
That's
the
the return.
Forerunners.
Right. The
yeah.
Forerunners. She's somebody high enough up that she was in a leadership position. It seems like she returned. She didn't tell as much as she could have because she was afraid of delivering bad news, is what it seemed to me. And now she's going to suffer for
It's
it.
not going to go well for her. It just shows how much power those seekers have.
Yeah,
They're-
and one of them got drubbed over the head by Julian and Tom.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean the amount of power that the Seekers have. There's the Galadin is. She says that she put both a daughter and a son of the Empress. Dave,
May she live forever.
there you go. To the question, and so in gratitude for the confessions that she arranged for them, she was allowed to gaze upon the Empress.
May she live forever.
Yeah, congratulations.
And
Apparently, that's like the biggest honor. How many
Well-
people have seen this Empress?
May she live forever. Is she of the Lone Islands?
Apparently, not many. Or
Yeah,
the
not
lo-
many.
Is her name Jadis? Do we know?
Are we sure she's
The Lonely
actually
Island.
alive?
Right.
Well,
She's right.
I guess you never know with these Shan Chan.
Yeah, it's the Wizard of Oz.
No, well, right.
Behind
Yeah.
the curtain.
No, I'm thinking of the head of North Korea,
Oh, Kim Jong.
Kim Jong Un. Yeah.
Yeah, if that guy's even alive, no one
Right.
knows.
Right. Exactly.
Galadin says to Rand, she says to him, she named you Rand al'Thor.
Yeah,
Who?
Avienda said his name earlier.
Yep.
She said his full name earlier?
Well, you know,
She does
those,
that.
Those, yeah, those IEO
She does
have
do
that
that.
tendency.
She's the one that said it?
She addresses him formally all the time.
I was wondering about that. Nope.
So Rand and Avienda jump through the gateway,
With that noise, we
and
move
nothing
on.
happens. The Shan Chan
Well, you
do
mean
throw a spear at
nothing
them.
happens in
Before
terms
the-
of like
Right.
there no
well,
trap
Rand,
is sprung.
Rand thinks that there's going to be a booby
Because something
trap.
happens, they land on the other side.
Well, they land on the other side, and a spear gets chucked at them from the Shan Chan, which is where this chapter gets its name. Apparently, while they were gone, a guy Shine had tried to enter the room, and Asmodean had told the guy Shine the two were not to be disturbed.
I think
so-
But then he says, then they all gathered underneath me and were screaming out things.
Niela, right, then brought a bunch of spear sisters to shout beneath the window.
because he casually
He was like-
mentioned that Avienda spent the night.
And he was like, even I was surprised by some of the things they said.
The crude
Yeah, right.
suggestion.
Yeah,
Hey,
right, buddy.
Speaking of Avienda, I loved the fact that she left those Damani tied.
Oh,
and
yeah.
shielded.
No kidding.
That was fantastic.
Fierce woman.
She's like, you need to be stronger, Randall Thor. You got to deal with these people like a man. Not
She's
a
really made up.
Nancy-footed,
She's made up
lily-hearted.
for some time
Yeah.
here.
Tom Maryland would have disappeared behind those women and stuck a knife in their back.
Most men I know, I recognize. I
No,
don't
he wouldn't
know
have sneaked.
most
They would have
men.
just been flying
Right.
out at first.
Yeah, he would have just
He'd be
been like,
good,
whip,
good
whip,
knives.
whip. Yeah.
Less than good knives. Okay knives.
Rand.
Bad knives. Rust knives.
They all work. Tetanus
Yep.
knife.
Ooh, that's the good knife.
Right.
Nothing like holding a tetanus knife when you're running away naked, angry.
That's right.
Rand
worst
takes
fear
the
of all.
severed Shan Chan spear as a scepter, so now he has a scepter
As good of a staff as any.
to remind himself that they will
That's not in
probably
any. That's
cause him
not in
trouble
any,
at some point. So Rand is able to hold open this gateway, and as Modian mentions, that only Demandred and Semiraj can block a gateway in the same way that Rand can. So apparently he can do something that most of the Forsaken cannot.
powers.
Yep, superpowers.
Just continues happening. This has been a nice little bit of Rand here.
Little bit of
Because
Rand.
we felt,
Yeah.
we felt
Bit
like he
of
was
Rand.
getting away
It's
from
the
us.
candy
So.
bit of
You're all
Rand.
about the seasoning this week, I noticed.
Yeah.
Little Rand here.
Well, yeah, it's because
little
we have.
sprinkle there. Throwing
Did you
salt
say-
over your shoulder at dinner.
Did you say cayenne?
I did not say cayenne.
I
That's
like
on
me
your
some-
mind.
I like some cayenne though.
Right. I just made some
Oh,
It's flavorful.
chicken with cayenne. Chapter
Gotta
33, A Question
gentle.
of Crimson. Speaking of red and cayenne. So we're back in Amadisha. Nynaeve is practicing having
Jesus.
knives.
Luca.
Nynaeve
this
is
Luca
practicing
guy.
having knives thrown at her by Tom. And
Practicing
she's
meaning she's standing there terrified.
Yep. She's getting used to having knives chucked at her while she's blindfolded.
Why did she decide that she would do this?
Well, apparently
She had
just
to do something.
holding the money wasn't
Right.
enough any longer.
Yeah. Luca's like, no.
But I got the books.
Well, so Luca talks about, remember that there are all these other menageries that are traveling into Samara.
But Nana,
And
you
s-
look fantastic in that dress.
Right. And so Luca one of them has a knife. Is it a knife thrower? One of them has somebody who can do something, and Tom suggests, well, he can one up that. So
He could
that's
swallow.
what,
He could swallow
swords.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a sword swallower. Yeah. So this is Tom's suggestion on how to be able to one up the other menagerie here. So he's chucking knives at Nynaeve. We might call her Knives Neve from this point forward. And
Knives Chow?
He's tricked, right? Yeah, he's tricked into agreeing. I like the fact that you are the one who brings up the
There
Scott
you
Pilgrim
go.
reference here. Very proud of that.
Thank you.
She's manipulated into agreeing to actually take part in the act by a quick little bit of tongue trickery by Tom.
And then she somehow is going to wear the dress.
Well, that comes later.
Let's just pause for station
Yeah.
identification on Luca. He's like every person that hit on anyone in a bar ever, all combined into one person. Like he has
Oh, they're
every
fantastic, though.
Seriously, he has like every woman swooning line ever made to mankind, and he's delivering it all to the wrong person. No, you are a
Yeah,
smooth
he is.
talker. You are. Like he's totally, yeah. I mean,
Beauty and Danger is a great draw. I like this Luca guy. I don't really hate him.
I feel like he is
I knew
an
you were
oily
swarthy.
snake salesman. He's got a well-turned calf, though.
Yeah, later
He
on.
can
Yeah,
turn a
that's-
calf well.
I love the line from Tom that he says, I suppose this means you want to leave out the part where I'm blindfolded.
Yeah. And she's like, he was joking, I'm sure. Wasn't he?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was not.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you he wasn't.
We knew Tom was good with a knife. I don't know that we realized he was this good.
It's the tetanus.
I
That's
I
why.
realized he was this good. But then there's this
moved on
other
from
sweet
naked
little line.
anger
There's
to
this other
naked and
sweet little
afraid.
line that Nynaeve thinks to herself that men could not avoid gossiping.
Oh, my
it was
word. It's
in
the-
them at birth,
it's the
and
ever
nothing a woman
continuous-
could do could get it out of them. It's just back and forth always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both genders accusing the other of exactly the same
Of
thing.
frippery.
Egwene has reported to Elaine that Rand is watching brigands in the Kyrian and countryside and having them hanged.
It's
So
sad.
that's our first indication that he is, even though he threw that gauntlet down, people are doing it. The
He
Aiel are
said
doing
what-
it.
yeah,
and
she-
not only are the Aiel
yeah.
doing it, he's holding to his word. Good for him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a
with
pretty
the face
tough line
cold
that
and
he
hard
drew.
as the
but-
mountains.
Like, yeah.
You know, what we know about Rand is he's probably not really thrilled with having to do it, but
Well,
I
I'm
think,
sure not,
I think
but-
he's hardening himself to
I think it's
take
great that
on-
he is doing it. He's not backing down from his word.
Oh, you don't think on the inside he's like,
Right, yeah, I don't,
Cackle, cackle,
Right.
hee hee hee.
Yeah,
this is what I was
Let's
raised
bump
for.
off these Aiel. Hee
right.
hee
He's
hee.
not Podden Fane,
In which case, he'd be speaking in two different tongues at the same time.
or at least with two different accents.
Yeah.
Elaine has stopped flirting with Tom. Are we disappointed?
Kinda
or-
sad to see that go.
So am I.
Not at all. Now I don't feel like I need to take a bath.
I
all the time.
agree.
Keep
I
it
think it was
going for a
totally
little while,
disgusting, but I was reveling in the disgustingness of it all.
Oh, it's funny.
The uncomfortability of it. They are south of the Eldar River and should cross it in the morning to arrive immediately in Samara. The prophet and his people are in
where
Samara.
Galad is, apparently.
Yeah, he's over the river and through the woods. A
Yes,
block
he's
away.
been spotted by Julin over there. Nynaeve explains to Elaine that she has gotten
Shut
her
the
black
prophet.
and die through a fight with Sarandon.
Just kind of
What is
happened.
up with the
After
whole mystery
pressing
behind
Sarandon about the
freaking?
Suldam and the Damane.
What is up with the mystery behind the black eye?
Well, she's
There's
embarrassed.
no mystery about
She got her
it.
clock cleaned.
No, I know there is
Yeah.
no mystery, but it was it
She's
was
keeping it a
presented as a
mystery.
bit of a mystery
Yeah, yeah.
at first.
As I'm sure is surprising to you, she didn't go around broadcasting to everybody that she was bested by another woman in a cat fight.
Not just bested. Man.
Yeah, it makes sense. Way to go,
Well, but we
She got a
know
black
Bobby.
eye.
these Sean Chan, they're wily.
Not,
Yeah, she
not only
probably
that,
did
she
some of
just
that
she got
K-Rate
whipped
on her.
around. She got whipped around like a wet
Yeah.
mongoose.
And we all know what that's like.
I-
I
Yeah.
think you know what a wet mongoose
I
would
just
look like.
I
know
just
what
go
one
out into
smells
the back
like, and it's
nine and
not
find
good.
a mongoose and dump water on them
You can't
every
swing
day
a dead
just
cat
to
around England without
see
hitting
how
a
that
vicar.
works. Elaine explains to Nynaeve that she thinks she has learned how to make an Adam and thus possibly Terangriel.
Nynaeve did not get it. Why would you want to make one of those stupid things?
Well, I mean, right. Why would you want to make one of those things, you stupid dunce?
My first reaction was like, you can do what?
My first reaction was, look at those curly locks.
Nynaeve tells Elaine
Those
about
beautiful
Galad.
baby blues.
Nynaeve is still trying to recall the name of
Saladar.
Saladar,
Yeah.
which they're not
I think it's
far
got a
from.
dar in the end of the name. Or is it Mar or Bar? Yeah.
Chapter 34, A Silver Arrow. The group eats Elaine's dinner.
It
It's
sounded like
Elaine's
quite
dinner.
the fancy dinner. I wanted to try that
It
dinner.
sounds like a dinner that Jeff Smith would be proud of.
Meanwhile, Nana's like,
The frugal
no one
gourmet."
comes around when I cook. What's going
How
on
do you
here?
remember his name?
The frugal gourmet.
Of course, I remember his name, Adam. You know how many
That's
of those
such a
shows
boring
I
name.
watch? It is. It's a terrible
It's
name.
an awful name for the
You
frugal
should.
gourmet.
It is an awful name.
I feel like that's the name of the guy that was the painter.
No.
No,
What I'm
That's Bob
saying is,
Ross.
I feel like that
That's-
should have been the name of the guy,
Bob Ross. Yeah.
but like
Oh,
not
Jeff
the name of a,
Smith.
of
I
a,
think-
of a chef.
No,
I
it
mean,
should not have
Bobby
been his name.
Flay.
And the
That
thing
sounds
is-
like a chef.
The thing is, he didn't look like a Jeff Smith. He looked like he should have had a Creole last name.
His name should have been Pierre.
Right, yes. There definitely should have been some French in there.
Juan Pierre,
There you go.
but
Juan
not a
Pierre.
short little baseball
Yeah,
player.
I believe
Like-
Juan Pierre, the frugal gourmet. Luca.
Juan Pierre.
So
he
they're
would have
at
had
They
a
were
lot more
gonna be
credibility
making that.
to us. Yeah.
Those bologna sandwiches.
I'll make
I
you
don't
some
know what that
value
wasn't- that
food
wasn't
down
it.
by the riverbank. Yeah.
Jeff Smith's greatest contribution to culinary science was to tell everyone they needed to have a garlic press.
I still think he was
back to
painting.
Elaine's dinner. Luca is flirting with Nynaeve.
Nah.
Elaine's dinner is fantastic.
And meanwhile,
Elaine's dinner is
back to
fantastic.
Elaine
Nynaeve's
dinner,
avoidance
yeah.
is to move her chair 6 inches.
Yes, she's constantly scooting around.
I loved that
They're
scene.
playing merry-go-round the
I thought
dinner
it was
table.
so funny how she's just like surreptitiously like trying to scooch away and he just keeps moving back. It was like something out of like a Chaplin scene where he's like, dun, dun, dun.
It
Yeah.
was very silent movie humorish.
Yeah, it was great.
The girls retire to their wagon.
And he's like going to bite her ear and she just accidentally elbows him in the ribs.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
yeah. He gets a solid.
And he
elbow.
like maintains that he choked on like some piece of food or something.
Yeah. After he's scooched around half of the table, he's trying to be discreet with what is going on.
With trying to chomp on her ear. Yeah.
Chomp on her ear. That's
Not before
awful.
Nibble. Nibble,
Elaine,
not so much
Elaine
as
calls
chomp.
her out for not tell him to put a stop to it. You really shouldn't encourage him so, Nynaeve.
Yes.
That's right.
Nynaeve is not well schooled in the art of flirtation. She doesn't
Or
understand
flirtation
leading
stopping.
somebody
She liked
on.
it.
So there they are in the wagon. Nynaeve travels to the dream world after she does a little bit of
Candy-coated
argumentative
Sandman.
aerobatics in her head over whether or not she's trying to avoid conversations with Egwene.
Wasn't Elaine getting chastised by Bear because Nynaeve wasn't showing up?
There's a little bit of an observation that they have not seen Nynaeve in a while.
Probably for good reason.
But Nynaeve does go want to meet
Because then
Birgitte.
things like this happen.
Birgitte tells Nynaeve that, hey, she found Moghedien.
A whole lot more in the process.
So Birgitte takes Nynaeve to where the Five Forsaken are, which we are now describing as the larger pocket outside the change pocket of Teleron Riode. Thanks,
I hate
Dave.
that phrase.
She's
Oh,
found.
yeah. It is the larger pocket.
Yes, the change pocket, exactly.
Right.
Which you use.
Yeah.
I do.
You-
I've got
for
some
picks.
guitar picks in there right now.
Not nose picking, finger
No.
picking.
No.
Moghedien is there with 4 other Forsaken.
Look, there it is.
And we're back, and there they are. Lanfear, Grandal, Ravine, and Samael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Moghedien is a creeping on them.
I like how
The
this
unholy
is
alliance.
a little strange because usually when Moghedien has basically taken over Lanfear's spot in this story, huh? Because Lanfear
agree.
is there, but we hear nothing from her. She's just
we haven't
there.
we haven't heard from her in a while. We haven't seen her in the World of Dreams. It's been a while since, Moghedien seems to be taking her place.
Am I wrong in saying that I miss Lanfear?
I think
Am I going to be drawn to the dark side? I just think it's interesting that she's there and she's.
I think it's interesting.
Which of these two do you think is more powerful?
They say Lanfear.
Right. Lanfear is the one that's actually hiding away and being the spider at this point.
Well, or we're just not hearing
That's
from
the
her.
nickname.
She might have something else going on.
No,
at the time.
Lanfear is not
Lanfear.
nicknamed the spider.
Right.
Yeah. Lanfear is the one that's hiding away and we're not hearing much from her.
Well, it
I have
doesn't
a
seem
feeling
like she's hiding away. She's in conversation with these other Forsaken. There's clearly a plot afoot.
Not only that, but
Yeah.
Lanfear is about as omnipresent as you possibly can be without being so. I have a feeling she's out and about. We're just not hearing from her.
So
Oh, definitely.
they're in this world where it's just black, which
Was
means
I found this
Which
very
is different than it's all
strange.
yellow.
they're on this floor, which apparently
Was that a
is
Coldplay
emanating-
reference?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Which is emanating light.
Parachutes.
So
We have a
there's
new album out
there's-
called Parachutes.
It was blackened in the end, though.
I
That's what
thought
really
I thought you were
matters.
going to say there that they had an album out called Power Shirts, and I was like, that's hilarious. There's nothing around to obstruct your view.
I do
Nothing.
not understand this. I do not understand this choice.
All these people need to do is look up.
Do you get the feeling that's actually the case, though? I have a
Yes.
feeling. I have a feeling that like you can see into the blackness. You can see in, but I don't think you can see out.
Birgitte suggests that if Moghedien was to look up, she would
But
see
Moghedien
him.
is outside of that bubble that I'm talking
There's
about.
Didn't
there's
Moghedien
never
also
a bubble
mark one of them?
described,
So
though.
that
There's-
doesn't-
I know there isn't. I'm describing it as such. I'm saying you can't see from the big pocket into the little pocket.
They're in the little pocket.
Okay, then you
That
can't
might be-
see into the big pocket.
They're all in the same pocket. They're all picks in your pocket.
I don't think so. I think
You've got to
Moghedien.
pick a pocket or
I
two.
think those people are in the big pocket. Moghedien is looking in from the little pocket, and then those two are looking into. They're like me, staring down into my little pocket, looking
yeah.
at the picks.
I know what you're saying. They're all in the same pocket. They're all in the same space.
That just seems a little
No,
weird to me.
It is weird because they should, if they look up, they will see her just sitting there.
Let's think about what we know about Moghedien. She does not take chances. She attacks from the shadow.
Agreed.
I don't believe for 1 second she would ever risk someone just possibly looking up and seeing her. There's no that holds no water.
This is my confusion. I understand why you're reaching that conclusion. The problem is that there's no physical evidence in the narration to describe the fact that they're looking in on something from outside. They're all in the same space. There is a lack of logic here because Lanfear and Moghedien nobody understands this space better than these two women. So it would make sense that Lanfear should always be looking around. Because she should be
she
afraid
knows
that
that place.
Moghedien is going to creep in here at any moment.
Well, I don't know that she'd be afraid of Moghedien. I mean, she's
Why wouldn't
Lanfear's-
she be?
Well, because she could kick her can this way
Right,
and
but
that way.
you can't kick her can if you're not looking around to see if she's there.
well, we all know she's got like supernatural powers of sensing when something's about to happen to her because she's beaten Rand seven ways from Sunday whenever he tried to attack her. So
But she could see him during those.
Well, she can't see the Sidene.
But she could see him. She's aware of his presence
going
near
to
her.
channel. But my point is, I feel like Moghedien and Brigitte are in a separate space from the space those other two are.
I understand how you're getting there. I totally get your logic because
you're right. Nothing is described. It's just a feeling I have.
It doesn't make any sense that if they were all in the same space, Lanfear should at least be looking around every once in a while.
And not just that, that isn't a chance that Moghedien would take. She does not take chances.
That is fair as well.
Does that mean that the Forsaken are just floating around in blackness, or are they? I didn't know if they were in.
They're on a disco floor.
Yeah, so they're
the lights
in
are changing colors underneath them.
Well, no, what I'm confused about is if they're in an. It's the same thing Dave is saying, but if they're are they in a room together?
No. So whoever has created that meeting space has just created that floor that they're standing on. There's no floor.
Right. So they're all coming out from all these different locations to be there. I'm just confused how Brigitte would know where that meeting place was that they would be meeting at. I know it's the world. She's been there forever.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, don't forget Hopper has taken Perrin to this place as well. And you didn't question how Hopper figured out that they were here.
Yeah, that's true. They all exist in that same
apparently
pocket
of
the dream world.
It seems like if you have enough power in Tel'aran'rhiod, you're aware that this other dimension of Tel'aran'rhiod exists. So Brigitte returns them to their meeting place just outside of Nynaeve's wagon, and Moghedien appears.
So, did she look up?
Yes.
No, I thought she was marked.
Had her eye on her the whole time.
Right. So how did she know if she was there? I mean, how did she?
She's a Forsaken.
Okay, but Lanfear didn't see Moghedien.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes, it is. So Moghedien knocks Brigitte unconscious and tortures Nynaeve, trying to uncover Elaine's location. Brigitte awakens and shoots an arrow through Moghedien. Before Nynaeve can act, Moghedien does something that makes Brigitte vanish in a black wave, and then Moghedien disappears herself.
Can I just say that I think that Nynaeve would make a really pretty horse.
Do you think she'd be a good My Little Pony?
She's not.
Speaking of My Little Pony, a pony.
So Moghedien has Chesmal heal her. She returns to her little place.
That's fortuitous.
So Moghedien returns to her little home in Amedisha. She has Chesmal heal her. Chesmal is apparently not the world's greatest healer, but good enough in this instance.
Apparently better than Elaine.
And then while being escorted to her bedchamber, Liandrin tries to use compulsion on her.
I didn't feel bad for Liandrin because I want her to suffer.
No, because Moghedien pins her to the wall using the power.
I wanted her to get Moghedien because I actually think I liked Moghedien less than I like Liandrin. So it's like I kind of wanted Liandrin to win that one and was hoping she would, and she did not.
It's funny because the story of Liandrin and Moghedien ends in exactly the way that Moghedien told Liandrin it would.
You would try to do this, and I'm going to beat you down when you do.
And I can either do it now or we can do it later. Okay, you want to do it later? We'll do it later.
She did try it now. She tried it the first time, and that's when she turned her little trick against her.
Right, and then
it really went south.
It happened again this time. Yes, so now...
And then she's in the clutches of Tamael.
She's actually in the clutches of the servants of the home.
Well, she hasn't been getting over to them yet. First, she's getting her beatings from Tamael, and the screamings ensued.
Right. I just feel like it is a really good description of just Moghedien and how powerful she is, and she's just laying out this perfect torture for her.
She understands human psychology.
But I think it's I think it's an amazing little piece by Robert Jordan in the fact that you kind of feel a little bit sorry for Liandrin.
It's like I was fighting that in myself
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel sorry for Leandrin.
Neither
because
did I.
I
Yeah.
hate her, but at the same time, I was like, no.
So
I wanted you to win that one.
Are you two Team Leandrin then? Because I'm definitely Team Moghedien here.
No, I'm Team Moghedien.
I'm
Okay.
team they both should suffer.
That's not a team.
What? Oh,
That's
it is.
not a team.
It's my own team I
this
created.
This is a two-team game. On one hand, there's
shit.
Leandrin. On the other hand, there's Moghedien. Whose side are you on?
New
Eric
York
is just happy
abstained
because he's like, I
courteously.
was not supporting Moiraine for so long.
Right.
And
He's
I felt
excluded
lonely.
from this conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Chapter 35.
Hey, you guys remember Moiraine?
Chapter 35. Ripped away.
She and Lanfear are hanging out together.
So Elaine waits for Nynaeve to awaken. Nynaeve starts crying in her sleep and then wakes up sobbing. Tom bangs on the door and enters carrying Birgitte. Nynaeve tries to heal Birgitte, but does not succeed. And so Elaine bonds Birgitte instead. Apparently, Elaine secretly watched a bonding between a Green and
How?
a Warder.
How did that
there was-
happen?
when they were in the tower, there was a whole lot of stuff going on that they kept talking about that we were never really let in on. So
That's true.
This is one of those
I
things.
just imagine they were scrubbing floors the entire time.
Right. Which we never saw really either, except when they were in the kitchen, acting the scullery maid. Elaine thinks it will be days before Moghedien is up to looking for them, and there are 11 menageries for her to
Yeah.
search outside of Samara, with 3 or more waiting to cross the bridge.
Concerning.
So she thinks they're safe, unless Moghedien gets lucky and happens to land on them first.
Also, I don't think that she's going to be down for all that the amount of time that Elaine thinks that she will be.
Probably not. She seems to think she's going to be out for several days.
Right.
And
It seemed like
She seemed
Moghedien
fine.
felt like she was going to be out for a couple of hours.
yeah,
Yeah, she was already pinning Leandrin up
I
against
feel like
the
Elaine
wall.
should be a lot more concerned than she is.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We're in agreement there. So Nynaeve leaves to commiserate herself. Chapter 36, A New Name. So Nynaeve returns.
You know what that name is.
Nynaeve returns to watch
My mother had a
Birgitte.
beautiful name.
Exactly.
Elaine now exits and tells Tom and Julian what's been going on since they joined the Windfinder. So Tom and Julian finally get let in on the entire search for the Black Aja and
Big deal.
Moghedien and the fact that there's a Forsaken, maybe chasing them.
Yeah.
What do we think about Elaine's newfound nobility and actually telling people that they're in danger?
I like it.
Elaine leaves to re-enter the wagon and suggests Nynaeve sleep, and when she won't, uses the method of a swift kick that Tom suggested to her worked for snapping men out of a funk. Elaine,
I like how it was just brought up. Oh wait, it's kind of waking someone up from sleepwalking, basically.
right, yeah.
You got to be careful about it.
Yeah, they
Is
might
that
throw
true?
you down the
I don't
stairs.
know. Yeah.
Just like in Step Brothers.
Or in Friends, when Joey and Chandler decide to take Ross out to a hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that he just brings up all these different scenarios in her mind of, oh wait, no, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that, and then she just,
Does it.
kicks her.
She decides to go with the more extreme method, and it seems to work a little bit. So Elaine falls asleep and dreams of Rand and his many women. And then Elaine wakes to Birgitte realizing where she is. And Elaine tells Birgitte, good news, you're now my warder.
You're alive.
Oh, and you're alive.
By the way, you're also my warder.
Elaine is also dreaming about bonding Rand.
Boy,
Elaine's dreaming about bonding everyone.
Brigitte seems
Well, no,
to take that bonding pretty well.
Well,
Yeah.
the
Sorry, that
woman's
was
probably dealing with a lot.
But that's kind of a major thing.
It is a
think?
major thing.
Do you
but
think
but the
so?
more major thing
She's
is
not dealing with that
she's
much.
probably the bigger struggle for her right now is, hey, I was tied to the Horn of Valir, and I was an endless warrior that was constantly getting recircled through time, and maybe now I'm not.
I don't think she cares about that. All we seem to hear that she cares about is Geidel.
Well, that's linked to that.
Yeah, I
That
know.
is it's
no.
definitely linked to that.
It is linked to that, but I think it's less to do with that and more to do with the love of her life than it has to do with the horn.
The Horn is more of the reason why she
why she's linked to
why
it. Yeah.
well why she's linked to the wheel and why she doesn't technically die and why she does die,
but we
lives
don't
there.
know that she isn't still. We don't know that, and she doesn't know that.
We
We're
don't know,
supposing.
yeah.
We suspect
I'm
it.
assuming.
We don't know it
I'm
for
assuming.
sure. It's certainly something that Nynaeve is concerned about. So they exit the
I
wagon.
just love this Brigitte.
They exit the wagon to
Yeah.
the camp, preparing to cross the bridge after Elaine wakes to Nynaeve checking on Brigitte. Luca approaches and gets into a discussion about the preparations with Nynaeve and sees Brigitte. Brigitte challenges Luca to a shooting competition and dazzles Luca with her amazing bow work.
He doesn't even take a shot.
And then Luca offers her a position in the menagerie and she accepts and chooses the name Marion.
And
I love
the red
yeah.
dress to go with it.
I
She
love
wants the red
Brigitte.
dress. Yeah.
When Brigitte was going through and picking those arrows out, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that takes us to Dave. What shook your willow?
Rand. Rand is the pimp Mac Daddy of the world. And there's
I don't know.
not a woman that Rand runs into who does not get all weepy-eyed and knock-kneed around him. It's just
Return
like
of the Mac.
he is like Valen Luca may have all the lines, but Rand's got all the skills. Because and without even knowing he does.
Right, because
he's
does
the
Rand
worst at
actually
it.
have any skills? Because do we have any evidence of any of these women being like, oh, Rand, you're such a sweet talker?
Rand has no game, but he's got all the game.
He's got no game. He's just got the looks, apparently.
He's got the look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got the look.
Right.
And something he says works because
Rand has the game. Rand has proven at every moment that he is up for it.
well, he's up for it, but I don't know that anything he's saying is doing it.
Yeah.
Not up for-
being
no, not
ready
up
for
for
the
it.
game is not actually
No.
being in the game.
Not
He's
ready
in the
with
game.
the ladies. Stop saying the game. That's that stupid book that guy wrote that was talking about like negging girls. Don't say the game.
What in heavens?
I think it's called knowledge. Anyhow,
I feel like that's.
No,
I feel
he's-
like you're
but-
taking that from that movie with Tom Cruise, with
I'm taking it from
Magnolia.
a book called The Game. It shouldn't at all. But I'm saying Rand, in terms of girls, him talking to him isn't great.
But that's
that
all we're
guy
talking about.
has-
Yes, in the rest of his life,
But
he's
no,
stepping up at every
no,
given
no, no,
moment.
no, no.
Sure.
That guy has proven himself time and time again that in a moment of need, he is going to succeed.
Yes.
Often accidentally, but yes.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
we know it's accidentally. They
He
don't.
doesn't.
No,
he's
he
not.
is.
He is not going to fail
Yeah.
due to
He is
due to
courageous.
fear or freezing up.
Those moments might affect him.
He
However,
will do something.
Not only the ladies, but whoever would be attracted to him.
The ladies.
I'm simply saying, pretty much
Gwen.
every single attractive woman in this book, with the exception of Nynaeve,
Or Moiraine.
Moiraine even said, if worst
Oh,
case
she
scenario
tried.
came,
She tried it on.
and she tried that coat on. It didn't fit right, so she got rid of it. But that didn't mean she wasn't considering it. Avienda, Elaine,
It's good to be the protagonist.
Egwene, and then maybe Min. We don't know what's going on there, but seems like there's something definitely
Oh,
going on there from
yes.
Rand's standpoint.
But
Min's
no one's
standpoint, we know.
interested. All right, so we got into this a little bit before, but what shook my willow this week is the relationship between Brigitte and Guy Dahl, because it is obviously special and it is one of her driving forces. That is her greatest concern, is that he's out there looking for her and that there will be something that he's searching that he can't identify, and it's her. And now because
I've been
she's not going to
searching
be there,
for a girl like
he's
you.
gonna have this mission he's not gonna be able to realize. That's pretty amazing. And
It is. It's huge.
she's remarked on the importance of their relationship before, but we didn't get as much specifics as we did here. So that was really cool. And by the way, this also seems
That
to be the
was-
first fully functional romantic relationship in the story.
Dave, you said foreshadowing before for some reason, but the foreshadowing with her was when she first brought up Guidal and the fact that Nynaeve was wearing a dress that was similar to the dress that she wore when she went out dancing with Gaydal at one point.
I just thought it was hysterical how when she was conversing with Valen Luca, she kept calling him Pretty Man.
Oh, I love that.
That was fantastic.
That is fantastic. Yeah, no, that's amazing. And she's honest about it. She's like, I'm attracted to you, but you're a dummy.
You're a dunce. All you are is good looks. Yeah.
You're just a dummy.
And apparently not as good of a bow shot as you think you are.
Well, no way.
I'm considered
be
a
that good?
fair
Who could be
shot
that
in
good?
my land. and you just trumped me considerably. I feel like you guys are making it out to be like this big, fabulous, fantastic, normal relationship that I don't feel like we hear that much about it. Just they've had a relationship over time.
They've had several hundred of them, apparently.
They've had thousands and thousands.
Thousands and thousands.
I like the fact that Elaine comforts her and says, "Hey, you know what? You two are meant to be together. I'm sure that when he sees you, it's going to be okay." But he might be 3 years old, and she's like 35.
It's a good line. I'm not sure how.
Well, it's like a Mariah Carey, the guy from Sony Records thing, or David Foster and Catherine McPhee.
What shook your willow this week, Adam?
Mine was the fact that Nynaeve still can't remember the name of the town that the Blue Aja are meeting in, and neither can I.
Swappy?
You can't remember,
even though it's been told to me 7 times already. No, that's not mine. My willow of the week is the fact that Leandrin finally got hers.
Her comeuppance.
Yeah, she got her comeuppance.
Her tuppence.
It's been happening a long time.
Her tuppence.
But do we think she has? Do you think she's going to get free from this? I feel like she's going to get free. I feel like she's going to get free from it.
I think once Moghedien puts that smack down, you've been smacked down.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do feel like she is going to get out of this just because I was surprised that she struck Moghedien when she did, because Leandrin seems to be pretty capable of playing the long game, but I get why she did it here, because this seemed also to be the right moment to strike, because it did. Unfortunately for her, she underestimated the strength of the Forsaken.
But she had already done it before. She had already tried it.
She did.
Yeah, she tried it when she thought she was near death, which we all thought she was. If you're going to try, that's the right time to try.
Yeah, it was a pretty good time to try, definitely.
She was just wrong. Yeah. Very wrong.
I think she's going to get out of it.
Oh.
Prediction!
Yes, I'm there with you. Let's move on to Aviendha Kill. Isn't it appropriate?
Dave and I are not on board with this.
Isn't it appropriate that the Cold War between Rand and Aviendha ends in the snows of Seanchan? Where else would that thing thaw?
Well, it started melting when Rand walked into that naked Aviendha,
where she decided she was going to try using the old Westland method of washing up, of cleaning oneself. So there she is at the little wash stand.
That is funny. That is what
totally
she says.
naked.
She's like, I can't do it anymore. I just want to try the way that you do it.
Right.
Whoops.
Not in a tub. She's going to use soap and water and a little washcloth and give herself a sponge
would have been like, have you drunk from the wine spring?
Then no, you can't come in and play.
Why are you here? I specifically created this so you wouldn't be.
So first of all, how do they travel there? From everything that we've learned about this method of conveyance,
this is a different method of conveyance.
Don't you have to know something about the place you're going to?
This is a different method of conveyance.
We don't know about this. Yeah,
this is not skimming.
Right,
they're two different things. We don't know anything about a gateway.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's based on need, like Tel'aran'rhiod.
It's weird how she took them there of all the places.
It is strange, but I feel like it's very interesting that she is obviously very powerful. Like, she's just getting more and more powerful as time goes on. And then she's next to a ta'veren. So it makes sense why she could create the portal. I don't get why she would create a portal to go to Seanchan, though.
I have a feeling, once again, like Tel'aran'rhiod, it's based on need. She needed to get away. That was the furthest possible place that need would have taken her.
Well, what about this other place that we know of on the other side of the waste called Sara or Shara?
Well, I don't know if she knows anything about that.
What does she know about Seanchan?
She knows it exists. I don't know if she knows about Shara. I don't know that.
The Aiel probably know about Shara. They're the only people who ever travel there. It's weird that this is where they end up. By the way, who saw Seanchan being this weird Himalayan Nepalese country?
Maybe it's the time of year
with an ocean.
It might be the time of year
right near an ocean.
Who knows? They're apparently not affected by this weird weather that's happening on this side of the ocean.
Right, that makes everything crispy and crunchy and autumnal.
Just piles and piles of snow, and then you can see the ocean to the east. Yeah.
Feels like we're in the Himalayas.
Well, I don't know about mountains.
That was more my imagination than anything. They very well could just be in a plane. So when Aviendha wakes, she says, "The rings do not lie. I will run no more."
Yep.
She, like Moiraine, saw something about Rand, and Moiraine saw something about something we don't really like from what we're able to gather thus far. So when she traveled through, Aviendha apparently saw that she's going to end up with Rand.
Which would
In one
explain what
fashion.
she's been fighting against all this time.
Yeah, not.
I thought we.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
I
there's
mean-
two things she's been fighting against: destiny, which she saw in the rings, and her own attraction.
It seemed to me like she was dealing a little bit of what Min was dealing with early on in this story, which
Min
was
knew.
which was not
Her fate.
necessarily so much the physical attraction as just the cognitive
Future.
dissonance of I'm going to be involved with this guy, and yet I've pledged to my second sister that I'm going to watch over him. It's a little bit like being given the prize horse by your neighbor to watch over, and instead you steal it away. That's got to have been
I
bothering
don't have
her.
the land.
Yeah, well, that's your problem.
I don't have the back nine.
The back
I
nine.
do not have the
Yeah, you
You
time.
don't to store the horse. That's just my own reading on it. We've had no evidence that she's not physically attracted to him, other than the fact that she's constantly been telling him she hates him.
That was
No,
all
I
a
think
facade.
this
Yes.
would be this would be very interesting to dig into her knowledge of what she saw in the rings and her relationship with him afterwards
Mm-hmm.
compared to that and then before.
I mean, if she did, if
I
she is,
feel like after she came back, she was even more mean to him. And she was trying to fight it off.
Well, probably because she's like, no.
yeah.
Yeah, she's like, no, there's no
Ron
way that
Burgundy
this is
says
going to happen.
no.
So that would be.
I don't know if she necessarily was attracted to him right away.
Oh, I think
I'm
she's
sure she
attracted.
was. I'm sure she was,
He's
but
an-
I don't
he's
think
an
that it would.
attractive looking man.
Sure, she would have been like, yeah, that guy's really handsome, but
That cat's
she's
good looking.
but he's with my girl.
So
Yeah.
when do you think she became romantically interested in him?
A little bit after she went into the rings, I would say.
Okay.
I really don't know that I have an answer for that.
I think it got to her head
You think it just became a self-fulfilling prophecy?
at that point. Yeah,
I think it started with the gift giving. I think she was starting to have romantic feelings for him slightly before the gift giving.
Okay.
But it seemed to me that there was a turn with
That
her
was before
remonstrances. No, it
Reunion?
was after. It was after.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's after reunion.
You
It's
said
after
you
the-
said slightly after Roydian. I feel like it was longer than just slightly after Roydian.
Well, let's go over time again here. It's not been that long since then, Eric.
Right. Yes.
Hasn't it been?
It's
been
been
months.
like-
We get into Robert Jordan's weird sense
It's
of time.
been probably 2 months.
Right. Yes.
I think honestly that's the marking point. That's when she went in there and she saw that happen, and then she's been fighting against it, but then she just can't.
I'm in agreement
Got
with
to
you
her.
that I think it happened after Roydian, but I think
Could be
she's been
wrong.
fighting against it since Roydian.
Okay, I don't know about romantic feelings. We've been given no indication of romantic feelings towards Rand.
No, we haven't. I'm not using this moment. I would say it's Exhibit A, but it's not the only. It's not the only.
think there have been- I think
it's
there
not
have
the only
been-
evidence that I would use.
I think there have been romantic feelings before.
It felt to me like her protestations
Great
against
band.
him became much more severe after he gave her the first gift.
He
And
did a lot to garner her interest. I mean, not just gift wise,
Undeliberately, yeah.
not just
Actually,
Yeah,
gift wise, but being who he is.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
Absolutely.
Uniting the Aiel, fighting
And you
for the
kind of
Aiel,
do the opposite of it.
fighting off Trollocs, fighting off Myrddraal,
Mm-hmm.
saving her life, blah 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 blah. There's so much he did.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a boss.
great leader.
If that's what you were saying.
He's a
Even though
banger.
you used a different word, which is a strange one for,
Banger.
Weird,
for
yeah,
Rand.
right. Yeah, that sounds inappropriate
He's not
in America and somehow oddly Australian. Anybody got
What?
anything
Me?
else on? You consider yourself Australian because you're wearing a beanie?
No. I just think it's amazing that she has these powers that she can open up a portal. It's freaking incredible.
It's crazy.
Well,
It's
I think
crazy.
she's amazed by the fact that she has these powers also.
I don't
Yeah.
think she gets. I don't think she gets the import of what she did.
There's a lot going on in her head right
Not
now.
only
Right.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of them was
so,
Rand.
So
yeah,
not only that, she, like you brought up before, Dave, she's the one that kept them tied when they went through the portal. She could also tell who was able to have the power. It wasn't only the people that were collared, it was the people that actually had the bracelets on them.
She bound all them Sean Chan.
It's more and more and more proof of the fact that she's really powerful.
Imagine that.
Lady.
Yeah, she's a
Another
boss.
woman in this story who is also the most
Well, just
powerful
an-
woman ever.
She must
Just
be
another person
the
in this
most
story that is-
powerful girl in the world.
What do we think about Asmodean's actions in failing the gateway? and
Questionable.
It's questionable, but man,
I
he
love the
spins
way-
it just right.
Yeah, I love the way he handled things.
But he's
They are-
right.
Why he was babbling? He was just babbling.
He's right.
The master and Avienda are indisposed at the moment. They are
Yeah.
not to be
There's
disturbed.
that. Yes. there's
Oh, you're
that
saying about
aspect.
that, but what about when he talks to Rand about his explanation for
He
it?
gives it the only explanation he could give that would possibly save his hide. But I do believe he's telling the truth. I
Be the truth.
I don't trust him, but at the same time, he has no one else but Rand because the other
Yeah.
Forsaken are gunning.
We learned through the conversation about the Forsaken that there is this plan to lure them toward Samael. They are all anticipating Rand going straight for Samael, and Samael's like, "Hey, why do I gotta be the guy?
I don't want to do this.
Why does this have to be me? Why am I the dude with the bullseye on his back? Well, you agreed to this beforehand. Well, that was before it became real."
It's like they're strong arming him into this situation.
They're all going after him, and I would still want to know what Lanfear's role is in all this, because she still seems to be orchestrating that entire plot.
Her role is she's really, really,
She is playing all
really
sides.
good look.
I think her major role is to get her boy back.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So you think she's really playing with the Forsaken and just
Yeah.
trusting on the fact that she's more powerful
She's got
than all of
plots
them.
within plots.
She's
Yeah.
got backup plans. Yeah.
Who is Semi? What is it? Semi?
Samael. He's the guy in Ilion.
The scarred
He's the guy
face.
in Alien.
Yep.
Okay.
The golden bees.
Because remember, Rand isn't really
Oh,
aware
he's
of
the golden bees.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Samael.
Okay.
Samael and the golden
You
bees.
know,
Aye.
a terribly
He's
fearful
the pirate
sigil.
talking one.
Rand isn't really aware of Ravine,
He knows who he is.
Camelin.
And he knows he's got more gays than Camelin, but she's not there
Yeah.
for him to be done.
All right, let's move on to a candy-coated Sandman.
All right.
Sandman.
In dreams,
Delivering
in dreams,
lollipops to children.
No, I just feel like we should come up with
out of the back
like
of
a
a cardboard
sand-
bus.
filled candy-coated candy.
sand-filled candy.
We need a little jingle here instead.
You know
of
what
a dreams
sandfilled
at this
candy
point.
is?
Come and get the candy.
It's
Cement.
It'll
from,
make you feel
No.
not dandy.
it's
gonna make
Patch.
your guts feel like they want to putz.
It's Patch from
well, that's
the
the
Christmas.
doll that they shake
No.
up. that
I'm
has
talking
all
how the
sand.
how the
Patch.
lollipops Patch makes look all coated in like sparkly sand. That magic dust he uses.
Who
Oh
knew-
my gosh! Yeah, that's yeah.
Who knew
That's what it
Elaine?
is.
Who knew Elaine was the frugal gourmet? Did anybody know that Elaine was a gourmet chef?
No, I
No.
didn't. I didn't
And
even think
everyone
about it.
is
But it
happy
makes
about
sense.
that because they don't want Nana cooking for them. Luca just disappears
Nana
those
thinks
nights.
I love
she can
that.
cook
Not-
just
not only
fine,
that,
except
I-
nobody
yeah.
eats her food.
It's great.
It is. It's a great bit of thrown in information there.
So we
and
learn-
she's so firmly convinced. I can cook just fine.
Yeah.
I can sew just fine.
Yeah.
My temper's not an issue.
She's a terrible domestic engineer.
She's deluded herself.
She's no good at domesticity.
Poor Lan. He's
So,
screwed.
what do we think this means? Only feral creatures appear in Tel'aran'rhiod?
Wolves.
Wolves, right. But
That's the only
any
one we know of.
domesticated animal will not show up in Tel'aran'rhiod. So
Dogs.
Cats. Nynaeve can see the
Cows.
Shred Eat. Or no, she can't see the Shred Eat because they've been domesticated, which she hasn't believed from Sarandon, the Shan Chan woman who's in
Yes.
charge of the elephants. Sure enough, she enters Tel'aran'rhiod and they ain't there.
They're not there.
But she can see
Spiders
some of the
are there,
wilder-
though.
She can see some of the wilder creatures. So what do we think that means? Being domesticated somehow
You
increases
lose-
your mental capacity so that you have to be in a dream in order to
I almost feel like it's the opposite. Becoming domesticated means you lose that
I agree with that. I totally
Primal-
agree with that, Dave.
I like that description
instinct.
better. I like that description better. And in losing your primal and losing that sort of primacy, you lose sort of who you are.
Yeah,
And
you
you're-
become a
Hats off
servant.
to
You become a
Dave.
servant rather than
Stupefied.
being, yeah.
Check out that big brain
Yeah.
on Dave.
Flexing brains. I feel like both Lanfear and Moghedien think they're the strongest in Tel'aran'rhiod, and I don't know which is.
Definitely.
Lanfear considers it her world. She said that specifically.
We
But
haven't
Gideon has
seen-
also said no one
Her
can operate
sigil is
in.
the moon
We
and
have
the
never,
stars.
but we've
Lanfear.
never seen Lanfear outdone, and we've seen Mogadine outdone.
I mean,
so I'd
we
say
know
Lanfear-
Lanfear's stronger in the power, and I have a.
He's just talking about Teleronrio.
I'm just
Oh,
specifically
it was
talking
spoken
about.
about the fact that Mogadine was the most powerful there.
No. Lanfear specifically said, and it's been said, that she considers Talariod hers. Moghedian is just really good at sneaking around the shadows within. So I wonder, I would love for like a duke between the two.
It's been mentioned that they were both incredibly strong in dreaming, and that it isn't certain that it was considered that Lanfear was more powerful in dreaming, but that
Are you sure
there's
about that?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
I'm
that
fairly
there's an
sure.
argument to be had about that. It seemed like that was just the way it was considered, because we know that Moghedian does not get into a confrontation unless she's sure she can win.
Right. Hasn't worked out real well for her thus far.
So there probably never was a confrontation between Moghedian.
Think she overestimates her powers a little bit? Just a little bit.
Moghedian?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think so
She
at
got
all.
bested by Nynaeve once,
But
and
she was
did a
almost
little bit.
surprised. She got completely caught off
Well, yeah.
guard.
Well, but that's part of being overconfident, is you lose sight of your surroundings and everything else around you.
it just seems weird
It's like
that
Bruce
a little
Lee's first
bit.
philosophy is
It's-
never under or overestimate your opponent.
it seems weird to consider somebody unconfident who avoids confrontation as
Unless
much
she
as
knows she can
Moghedian
win,
does.
and that's the whole thing. If you know you can win, that means you're overconfident.
So Moghedian speaks of being able to turn people into animals in Teleronrio, so that whenever someone enters the world, they appear as the creature, and only the Forsaken know how to undo it.
I'm confused by that.
So
what does that mean?
She tells Nynaeve that she's going to turn her into this horse, right?
Mhm.
It's
It's
not-
only when she goes in there.
It's only
that
when
she's
she
going to be turned into
travels.
her.
It's only when she travels to Teleronrio.
Well, I think also what she means by that is when I take you into Talonrio to travel with me, because I will have you
No.
captured at that point. How else is Nynaeve going to get into that dream world and all of a sudden turn into a horse? The only way she could do that is if she had Nynaeve and brought her into Talonrio with her. Otherwise, what's the point? You're just going to have control over when she's over in the dream world?
No,
Well, why would
right.
Nynaeve ever go into the dream world then?
Well,
She wouldn't. The
then-
only way you
then
can go
you
into the dream world
eliminate-
is with a
then you el-
necklace.
then- first of all, she doesn't know that Nynaeve and Elaine are playing tag team with the dream world. So,
But
if
she's
you-
already proven she can strip you out of the dream world. So she has a power to take Nynaeve out of the dream world.
right, but she doesn't have the power to prevent her ever from coming back in. This would do that.
What does that accomplish?
Nynaeve is out there meddling in the dream world and using the dream world to create all these sorts of problems. So it would
but-
eliminate her as a problem.
But who cares about that level of control in only the dream world? Because then Nynaeve will just not go back in.
Yes, but one thing at a time.
But
She
no,
doesn't-
but she does know-
Doesn't
she
know
does
where
know-
Nynaeve is.
But she does know about Elaine also because she
doesn't know where
both
she
of them.
is either.
But she's been following both of them in the dream world.
In the dream world, yes, but she doesn't know where either of them are in the physical world. And what you're suggesting
knows
is
by the
that she
menagerie.
would gain control of her both in the physical world and the dream world. She doesn't know where she is in the physical world. So all she can control at this moment is the dream world.
I disagree. Okay, so she spun Brigitte out of the dream world into the menagerie because that's where they were located in the dream world. What if she turned Nynaeve to the horse, took her with her to wherever it is she wants to go in the dream world, and then spun her out in the dream world in that place? She would therefore appear in reality in that place.
Well,
so
then
she could
you-
drop her into her own camp and then have her under a thumb in both the dream world and in reality.
If that's possible, then that would be true.
We've
And
it was just
if-
proven it was possible.
And if that's possible, Robert Jordan is guilty of some pretty bad negligence by actually describing how that would happen through the narration.
I don't think so at all because he just showed us that Brigitte is spun out into the real world where they were in the dream. So all she has to do
not through opening up anything or anything
No,
like
through the
that,
power.
through some weird sort of use of the power.
So all she has to do to the same thing with Nynaeve, and that's why she would bring her back into the dream world, because she can't, in real life, she can't turn her into a horse. So she can do that in the dream world, though, and how humiliating is that? I've got you in control in the
Right.
real world, which she would love, and then when I bring you into Tel'Anriod, I'm going to turn you into a horse.
That's a great act of imagination, but I don't see any description of anything like that being described here. All she says is, anytime you reappear into this world, you'll appear as a horse. And until I undo it or somebody else who has the knowledge to undo it, you will never appear.
But she
here as
says,
anything
you're going
else.
to be my pet. In order for that to happen,
there
Biscayne,
also seems to be the suggestion that in doing this, she also can prevent her from leaving. That she could somehow prevent her from leaving the dream world.
Well, if you stay I would imagine you can't stay too long in the dream world, as we've seen from Perrin and that sort of stuff. You've got to get back to your body.
You're right. That it doesn't make any sense to me that even if she entered in as a horse, how Moghedien would be able to keep her as a pet, because that would
even know she was there.
She would know anytime she entered the world, which we also don't get any sort of description of. In this dream also, we get confirmation that Elaine is aware of Min's viewing of Rand's relationship with 3 women. We've been bandying that about for a while now, several books, wondering who knew what, where, and when. It seems that Elaine is conscious of that and is talking herself into becoming comfortable with that love triangle.
That's not an easy thing to do.
No.
Especially if you're the first daughter of Andor.
Right.
Who's used to getting her way with everything.
Sure, certainly. So
she does not share.
She's starting to talk herself around to that, which means that the realization of that is becoming more and more likely. So we're heading toward
Min's having
this.
to do that for a long time.
She's been more aware of it than any of them.
Doesn't make it any easier to deal with.
And then Elaine feels Nynaeve should not bear responsibility for what happened to Birgitte, because Nynaeve sent her off on this wild goose chase.
But she didn't have to do it.
She didn't have to do it.
Which is Brigitte's point.
That's Brigitte's argument. So that brings us to who was your Coplin of the week? Adam.
Nynaeve was my Coplin of the week. Because guess what? You went ahead and you told Birgitte to go hunting down Moghedien. And then guess what happens? It rips her possibly out of the wheel because of a decision that Nynaeve made just to push her towards doing that.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on this and say
right answer to this.
That I don't know. We have no definitive proof that Birgitte hunting her down is how Moghedien found them.
Well,
we know as a fact, we don't. There's no mention of it whatsoever. It goes to what we were talking about with, well, how did she find him there?
We have a lot of circumstantial evidence.
We also have a lot of circumstantial evidence that Moghedien was already looking for Nynaeve. And it was not correlated to Birgitte whatsoever. It was correlated to the fact that she was just looking for her.
Birgitte specifically said, I know where she is.
Yeah, but there's no way that, because once again, Birgitte was staring at Moghedien the entire time they were in that meeting, and Moghedien never saw them. Otherwise, Birgitte would have been like, oops, let's get out of Dodge.
At that point, it would have been too late, but yes, that you would have had that moment.
Unless somehow Moghedien's got this ability to sense other people and not react and not show anything and then just track them to where they were going, which you would have to know where they are. That's another point. You would have to know where to go in Tel'aran'rhiod to find somebody. You have to know that. We've seen that from Perrin, leaping and tracing after people to show people. So somehow she knew they were there.
I'm very confused by this. Birgitte was specifically told by Nynaeve to go look for Moghedien.
Right, but
Birgitte went and found Moghedien, and Birgitte went to Nynaeve and said, hey, I found where she is. So she's bringing her to this location.
But we don't have evidence how Moghedien found them was due to Birgitte's searching.
The problem isn't that Moghedien
I don't understand.
Well, that is the problem.
I don't understand how that matters.
It absolutely matters in terms of guilt that a person bears.
It doesn't matter to Adam's argument. The reason Nynaeve feels guilty is not because Nynaeve was harmed. You're right, Moghedien was chasing Nynaeve, and it's very possible that Moghedien could have found Nynaeve on her own.
Or did.
That's not why Nynaeve feels guilty, though. Nynaeve feels guilty because Birgitte got tied into all of this.
I'm going to why Nynaeve should feel guilty.
And so it's very possible that Moghedien could have found Nynaeve and damaged Nynaeve and hurt Nynaeve, maybe even killed Nynaeve. But it's also very possible that all of that could have been done without Brigitte there.
It is possible, but once again, I'm going to why she should feel guilty and why she shouldn't feel guilty.
Well, but Adam's statement was this is why she does feel guilty is because Brigitte got tied into all of this. And the reason why Brigitte got tied into all this is because Nynaeve brought her in.
But
right,
that goes
Adam?
to what Adam was cutting us off on is why Elaine was saying you shouldn't feel guilty and why Brigitte is saying you shouldn't feel guilty.
So it's the job of your friends to tell you not to feel guilty because you need to move on.
And not just that, you might not actually have a reason to feel guilty.
Well, I think she does. It's highly probable that Brigitte doesn't get injured in these circumstances if she doesn't involve her.
But if she isn't there, Nynaeve's dead.
That may be true, but that's not why Nynaeve is feeling guilt. That's a larger story issue. Nynaeve is feeling guilty because Brigitte is ripped out of the wheel from everything that we understand. Brigitte would never have been forced with the choice to make on her own. She would never been faced with the choice to make on her own if Nynaeve had not posited it to her in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't be going searching for her,
right?
Moghedien.
If indeed that is what led to her being ripped out of the pattern.
Well,
or it really could just be a colossal wrong place at the wrong time.
It's definitely what led to those two women being in close proximity with each other when Moghedien showed up.
Right. It worked out well for Moghedien because she hates Brigitte.
It's what led her to just to be hovering above.
Floating in the air.
Of people.
Yeah.
They may or may not be able to look up at you and see that you're there.
That's a good segue to my Copland of the week, which is definitely Moghedien.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah. She's not
it's
likable.
Typical with the way you go.
Yes.
This is how you tip and you tap your toe.
Yeah, I go.
Or you ping your pong. With the most is how you ping your pong.
Dangerous.
He pings his pong and tips his canoe
element
and
of
Tyler
the week.
Twos.
So yeah, Moghedien.
You're not even going to say why?
Do I need to?
I don't know. I felt like maybe you had some additional commentary.
I think so. I think you should have. There's the reason for that.
You want me to explain
more than
the awfulness of the Forsaken? She rips one of the heroes out of the wheel, out of the spinning of time.
Honestly, that was impressive. She was able to still do that while she was.
It is impressive.
An arrow through her.
She almost kills Brigitte and threatens to torture, and does in fact torture, at least for a certain period of time, Nynaeve. So you're my Copland of the week, Moghedien. I don't like you and your spidery ways. I don't like spiders.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a segment of Adam guesses who Eric's Copland of the week is.
Well, that'd be a very boring subject.
Mine is often unpredictable. Adam still wins
often
with this.
Unpredictable was not a character.
Adam
often unpredictable.
Adam only wins that category because he will pick randomly strange things like people's noses.
Yes, that's right. No, people's nasal hair.
Yeah.
I never picked nasal hair.
Mine for this week is the Damani.
Do you have a name for the Damani? Or do you just mean Damani in general?
No, the two Damani that we see in Seanchan.
Okay. Whose names are Ginny and Sari.
I get that they're browbeaten enough to the point that they're lapdogs.
I don't think you do get it.
I get it. I don't like it. And it disgusts me. And so by that sheer matter alone.
Yeah, they name... She's a Morath Damani.
They make my skin crawl and...
They have no will. They have no self-will. So just to be clear...
Dave, go gather the chopsticks.
Your Copland of the week is two people who have been tortured to the point where their will has been completely robbed.
Who are slaves.
They should have jumped off a cliff. I don't know. Fight till you die.
Who leveled up? Adam.
Oh, Elaine, baby.
Elaine.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, first of all,
she's like frugal gourmet, isn't it?
She's just thinking,
she's dicing and chopping and slicing.
Hey, guess what? Yeah. I think I can make an idam.
Oh, there's that too.
I can go ahead and I can make an idam. No big deal. I wish I had silver around to do it. But not only that, she's not thinking of it to make it so that she can enslave another being.
With that.
Yeah. She's just saying that, no, this is something you could channel into and make it more powerful. On top of that, she healed Nynaeve's eye, so that means that she is now able to heal people.
Very weak version of it.
Who cares if it's weak or not?
Well, I think that's like the extent of it. I can make your bruise go away.
I don't think this is the extent of it. I think this is her first time that she has done it.
All right, okay. So
this is the first time that she has done it.
Adam is predicting that Elaine will be a great healer. You go, Adam.
On top of that, Elaine tells Brigitte that she is only an accepted.
Yes. She heads it off at the pass.
Unlike Egwene, she's got a streak of honesty.
Yes. Now, she was forced honesty, but it was still honesty.
I think that she actually sought out the honesty and like she understands what it's like because how she's been raised and how to understand these situations, and she realizes, hey, this person should know who I actually am. Oh yeah, and then on top of that, she bonded someone else to them.
You think it was 100% altruistic on her part, really, as opposed to the fact that Brigitta's gonna know because she can sense that and know when Nynaeve is lying. Or Elaine is lying.
I didn't say altruistic. I was trying to point to the fact that it was a very political move.
Oh, well, okay.
Savvy.
Yeah,
it was very smart for her to tell her.
I will 100% agree with you on that.
She didn't need to reveal to Julian and Tom the history of what had been going on, at least at this point.
What had been going on?
No, she didn't.
What had been chasing and what's chasing them.
Something you didn't mention, Adam, about her that I did absolutely respect this week was the fact that she, was that she has kept with her word to not reveal who Brigitta is. It's especially difficult in this situation. She's hung on to that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, they know because who else could she possibly be? But
so that's check.
Minor check.
I don't know. Okay. Elaine.
You can use the
healing I'm giving a minor check.
Elaine, fantastic job this week. I'm just going to say.
Rand leveled up for me.
Yeah. How many times has he leveled up for you, Eric?
Well, he is like the most important character in the series. So.
Yeah. If Rand hasn't been leveling up, we're in for a really disappointing end of
this
book.
When he gets to Shio Ghul, we're screwed.
No, because Elaine's got us.
Right. There we go. Yeah.
And his blood shall be spilled on the shores of Dragon Mount.
If he dies, she'll be able to heal him and bring him back to life.
Right. Yeah. His blood is gender neutral now.
He can hold open this gate that we don't even know what it is. And apparently Asmodean has been trying to teach him and he hasn't been able to figure out. It's something only a couple of Forsaken can do. Oh, he rescues Avienda when he's near death. He creates an igloo out of air for them.
He gets the lady.
Gets warmth into the room. Gets him past a couple of Seanchan. Is figured out now that, I need to worry about the Seanchan, so I have to incorporate them into my plans.
I like that.
My question for you, Eric,
he told Asmodean.
He's just been doing this the entire time, though. You're just choosing Rand, and he's just always been.
He's adding to his repertoire. I mean, he told Asmodean, for everything you tell me, you've got to tell me two things that I don't know, which I thought was a great move.
He's getting smarter.
I just want to see growth. I just want to see growth on Eric's part.
He'll choose someone's nose next time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because guess what? Avienda was pretty sweet as well.
Next episode, I'll choose Rand's big toe. Will that make you feel better?
Arbitrarily choose
Rand's
weird.
Sandals.
Right.
Hey, wait, was anyone's aquiline nose mentioned this week? No. If it would have been, I would have been on board.
You would have, right? You would have chosen it. Who leveled up for you, Dave?
Sadly, I have to go with Moghedien.
Blind Justice.
Yes, and very much so.
Oh, Moghedien leveled up for you.
I hated to do it, but my goodness.
Has this happened before for Dave?
It has
happened, yes.
One other time.
Okay.
And I don't think it was Moghedien, but
I think it was
Lanfair is probably No, that Poddenfade's always been me.
No,
I think it was Lanfair for Dave.
You're the Poddenfade.
Let those words come out of my mouth.
Poddenfade.
So she somehow detects these two.
Right.
Somehow. She's meanwhile spying on the other Forsaken without them knowing.
Do you think she knew about them before she entered into the change pocket?
I really don't know. I really would like the answer to that, because that would answer a lot of things to which Adam was talking about. So she discovers them. She somehow is shot nearly through the heart, and she then summons enough power to not only cast Brigitta, one of her lifelong enemies, out of the pattern and into a new role in the pattern, then she transports herself back into reality, gets healed, which we all know when you get healed, it takes like all your strength out of you. And then she fights off Liandrin, who is not weak in the power.
No.
Do we have proof that she's the one that shot Brigitta out?
Yes.
Yes.
It wasn't
What
Nynaeve.
proof do we have?
They say Nynaeve saw her summon the power and then cast some weird sort of thing
like a blinding light.
Yeah, so she sucked in a huge amount of power with an arrow sticking through her. And then she fights off Leandrin. She sends the people off on a mission to go find the menagerie. She's still functional, even though she's been through this ridiculousness.
So Moghedien leveled up
Hated
for
to do
you.
it. Yeah.
I like it, Dave. I love it.
Did anybody else think Moghedien was powerful enough to be near death and beat the crap out of Leandrin? I mean, Leandrin had a really
She
good
wasn't near
reason to
death at that
strike
point.
when she did. I mean, if you
She
can't
did the right
defeat
thing.
her, then
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to defeat her ever.
I'm not surprised by that. I never
No.
thought Leandrin
We
was
all know that they said the
necessarily all
Forsaken
that
turn on each
powerful
other
to
and the
begin
Dark
with.
Friends turn on each other.
Oh, Adam doesn't think that Leandrin is that powerful, and Aes Sedai.
I think she is.
In terms of what we're talking about, in terms of a Forsaken, heck
But
no.
we're talking Aes Sedai versus Forsaken now, and
Near
that's a whole
death?
different playing
A
field.
Forsaken near death?
Yeah, no.
So you think
hopefully-
Leandrin? You think that was a boneheaded move by Leandrin there?
Yeah, I think it's a boneheaded move.
All right.
Interesting.
And on that note,
And I know before I said that it was a decent
You
move,
did,
but
yeah.
that's wrong.
was
It's
calculated.
stupid because she had already done it.
She pulled a mat, she rolled the dice, but she lost.
Yeah, but
Return
you're going
of
against a
the Mac-
Forsaken, and she's just another dark friend.
that's episode 42. Join us for episode 43 when we'll cover chapters 37 through 42 of The Fires of Heaven. Until then, may you rest in the Creator's hand.
May you know good hunting, young bull. And she's to give you many cubs.
I said,
No.
Doviendes et Tovies again.
Woo!